My instrument is a melodica. In English, especially in America, it is also called a melodeon, or triola, or melodia, or meloda horn, or a diamonica, or a pianetta, but mostly it's just called annoying. In French, it is called le melodica. In German, it is called die melodica. In Italian, it is called la melodica. In Spanish, it is called la melodica. In Yiddish, it is called die melodie. In Polish, it is called melodica. In Russian, it is called melodica. In Swedish, it is called la melodikan. In Arabic, it is called a melodica. In Finnish, it is called melodica. In Greek, it is called I melodia. In Portuguese, it is called a melodica. In Japanese, it is called kenban harmonica. In Chinese, it is called zhuan lu. In Turkish, it is called melodica. In Hindi, it is called melodica. I believe that these names will specify my instrument in many of the major languages of music today. My instrument is constructed of 14 parts, exclusive of screws, reeds, and plastic, more or less. Of these 14 main parts, the largest is the red plastic frame, whose function is to hold all of the smaller parts together. The next largest area are each of the 32 of the plastic keys, whose function is to be manipulated to activate one of the 32 reeds, which are located under and behind each of the 32 keys. Each of the 32 reeds is the next largest part. When one of the 32 keys above and in front of one of the 32 reeds becomes intermingled with air, that said reed vibrates to perform one of the 12 main pitches that exist on this planet, such as D or F sharp. The next largest is the black leather strap on the back of the instrument, which is designed to give the player a sturdy hold so they can focus on making sounds without having to worry about the instrument falling to the floor due to the laws of gravity. The next largest is the mouthpiece, which comes separate from the instrument itself and attaches to a hole located at the top of the red plastic frame. The mouthpiece is fundamentally a specialized funnel that translates the air released from the player's lungs into the bowels of the instrument, allocating the air into specific chambers which utilize that air to make one of the 32 reeds wiggle upon command of one of the 32 keys. The next largest is the button on the instrument that activates the air vents, and the air vent is located along the side of the red plastic frame and can be identified by a series of small rectangular holes. Aside from the 6 main parts of this instrument, there are a collective of 8 visible screws who mightily keep all the other parts intact. Not once in all of my years of playing my instrument have I seen these screws stray from their task. I'm sure there are smaller parts within this plastic frame, but in order to uncover their existence, I'd have to destroy my instrument, rendering its performance impossible. With that, we can only wonder what sorts of things lie in the depths of the melodica. I believe that this description of my instrument will distinguish it from any other kind of instrument that is in use today. Prior to the Middle Ages, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as mysterious and almost practically non-existent. As an example of this style, I would like to play Untitled by Unknown. During the Middle Ages, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as fantastically melodious. As an example of this style, I would like to play Studies in Modal Counterpoint, Excerpt 4, Third Species, Example 2, Mixolydian, by composition and theory professor, as well as Times Arrow New Music Ensemble leader, as well as composer, as well as pianist, as well as general music fanatic, as well as Dunkin' Donuts zealot, Rodney Lister, between the hours of 4:30 and 5:20 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. During the Renaissance, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as academic, snotty, posh, conceited, pompous, snobby, uppity, chic, swanky, ritzy, and all around pretentious. As an example of this style, I would like to play College in General by Student in General, During the 17th century, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as dope as fuck. As an example of this style, I would like to play Fuck the Police by J.S. Bach. During the 18th century, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as doggone and howling. As an example of this style, I would like to play Sonata in B minor by A Gang of Wolves. During the 19th century, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as the background music of a rom-com. As an example of this style, I would like to play When We Met by Harry and Sally. Early in the 20th century, my instrument, or the instrument from which it is derived, was played in a manner that might be described as extremely pleasing to the human ear, with no complaints whatsoever. As an example of this style, I would like to play a piece composed off of How Many Q's There Are in The Great Gatsby by an old edgy person. Currently, my instrument is played in a manner that might be described as quirky, in the sense that I'm trying to be different within my online persona in order to be taken seriously as a person. As an example of this style, I would like to play Lowercase Typing by someone who played ukulele in 2012. I believe that after this performance, my instrument will become obsolete. Thank you.